Hi, everyone. I'm Emily Crow, multimedia editor at Progressive Grocer. Welcome to Top Women in Grocery, a podcast focused on the trends, topics, and interests that move women forward in grocery retail. We're spotlighting extraordinary women in the grocery industry who have had successful careers and interesting lives, and who are also making a positive impact in their workplace and in their communities. Today, we're talking to Stephanie Jordan, Asset Protection and Safety Manager for Kroger's Nashville division. Stephanie and her team of 18 division and district associates cover 90 stores, where they are responsible for ensuring the safety of customers and associates, as well as providing stores with the tools they need to successfully achieve the division's shrink budget. She coaches her team on how to responsibly conduct internal and external investigations and provides oversight of vendor best practices. Stephanie previously served as a co-chair for the division's Women's Edge Associate Resource Group and is currently co-chair for Nashville's African American Resource Group. And she also participated in the company's Leadership Excellence Acceleration Program. Most excitingly for us, Stephanie was also recently named one of Progressive Grocer's top women in grocery. We're so excited to have her here today to talk about her career progression, the state of asset protection today, finding ways to serve your colleagues, and more. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Great. Well, to start, please tell me a bit about your career journey and how you landed in your current role as Asset Protection and Safety Manager for Kroger's Nashville division.
So I started with Kroger. I've been with Kroger a little over 21 years. I started as an intern when I was in college. And after I graduated, I proceeded with my career with Kroger and joined the management program. Once I graduated, I became an assistant store leader. I've been a store leader for multiple locations in Nashville and the surrounding areas. And then was given the opportunity to become an operations manager and merchandising manager for a district. And then prior to this role, I was a district manager in multiple areas in the Nashville division. And I've been in my current role for just a little bit over 2 years. And when I think about kind of that bringing asset protection kind of to where we are today, I think my roles leading up to this one really kind of shaped who I am and really bridging that gap between kind of the change in asset protection and really changing that culture.
Great. And speaking of asset protection, I'm curious, since you've been working in that role, how has it evolved, and what do you consider the most important aspects of the practice today?
I think when I think about asset protection, that shift from loss prevention and really thinking about a holistic approach to how we think about protecting our people, our products, and those who shop within our stores. And I think as we change that culture in the market today, I think that's very important when we think about our role in asset protection. And I think, really working closely with our store teams to think about our role as more than just reducing shrink by theft.
And when it does come to shrink and achieving your shrink budget, what do you prioritize? How do you ensure your associates are well prepared to help reach those targets?
I think the first thing is making sure that our associates, our department leaders, our store associates understand what the target is. What are we striving to achieve? And then how do we coach them, teach them, train them to help us meet those expectations, and never being afraid when we're in a store, walking with a team, to take that time to develop and coach our associates, because they are an integral part of who we are and the success that we have.
Right. And they are the front lines of everything we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, your division saw huge gains in associate accident reduction in 2022, as well as customer accident reduction. How were you able to achieve those great results?
So Nashville Division had one of our best years on safety. And I think the biggest thing for us is really, how do we change the culture of safety, and how do we think about it differently? How do we ensure that every guest, every customer, every associate, every person that comes in our building, whether they work for us, whether they service us as a vendor, that we are protecting them and keeping them safe when they are within our building? And I think it really starts with making sure that we're talking about safety, that we are coaching associates on, kind of the responsibilities and how do we protect and ensure that every person that's in our building is safe and they return to their families in the same manner in which they arrived. And I think the biggest thing is getting personal with it. Everybody has a specific reason of, why they want to work safe. For some, it may be family. For some, it may be I want to go home to my pet or to, the activities that I do outside of work. And so as you think about it and you make that personal for our associates, I think it goes to a different level of understanding and meaning of why we do what we do every day.
What else can you tell me about how your stores and managers are ensuring the safety of your associates and customers? We talked a little bit about it. Is there anything else you can add?
I think for me, I think about my experience as a store leader. When I was a store leader, how do you make sure as you're in that building every day that you're doing everything that you can to protect, our associates, to protect our customers? And as you think about that and you kind of keep that in the forefront, I think it makes it that much more paramount that we are, we're responsible for everyone that comes in our building. And how do we take that to heart and really deliver on one of our core values?
And as I said earlier, you previously served as a co-chair for your division's Women's Edge Associate Resource Group, and you're currently the co-chair for Nashville's African American Resource Group. Why is it important for you to be involved in these groups and share your knowledge with others in the company?
For me, I feel like resource groups are a great avenue to connect with others, to connect with those that, may have similar concerns or similar issues that you have. I think about my experiences, whether it being on the women's ARG or the African American ARG, how do we continue to develop great talent within our divisions? So providing those connections with other leaders in our business. If you think about the success of Kroger and to continue that success throughout the years to come, we've got to develop our talent and not be afraid to share what I know to develop someone that may, be looking to do other things within the company.
Great. I love that. Sharing what you know with everybody else who's coming up behind you. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for your insights and for being with us here today. For more information about the Top Women in Grocery podcast, please visit www.progressivegrocer.com/podcasts. You can also subscribe to the series wherever you typically listen to podcasts, including on Apple, Google, and Spotify. Finally, do you have an idea for a TWIG podcast topic? We'd love to hear from you. Email me at ecrow@ensembleiq.com. See you next time, and thanks for listening.